Hey, are you asking yourself, why in the world hasn't the real estate market crashed yet? Or maybe you're thinking 2024 is definitely the year the real estate market crashes. Well, hang in there because I'm going to help answer why it hasn't crashed and what's going to happen in 2024. If you've been following me for a while, you understand and you realize why the market hasn't crashed already. Since 2019, I've been giving you some valuable information and talking about the real estate market and what factors actually affect it. So here we go again. Let's go ahead and recap exactly where we're at right now and what 2024 may be looking for us in the market. All right, so if you've been paying attention over the last couple of years, you already know, remember, there's 4 factors that affect real estate. The number 1 factor is government influence. Basically what that means is what kind of local and national government influence is there in the real estate market. That's going to be stuff like regulations and building codes and stuff like that. We really haven't had a lot of changes as far as government influence in the local area here in Atlanta, Cherokee, Cobb counties, the North Atlanta market. Nothing major has happened. No major legislation has taken place. We're not building new interstates that might affect things. There's no regulation that has been passed that's restricting building or anything. So from that standpoint, really not a whole heck of a lot has changed over the last few years, and we don't project anything major changing in 2024. So government influence is pretty much going to stay the same heading into 2024. So no issues there. All right, so the second influence that affects real estate is social. Now, social relates to what kind of amenities are available for citizens that work in a particular area. So if you want to start talking about North Atlanta, the area Alpharetta, Roswell, Cherokee County, Woodstock, Canton, the social environment that we've actually created here and continues to grow is phenomenal. You know, the things that people are able to do and go out, the entertainment that we have. You can go to the North Georgia mountains and enjoy it up there. If you want to go to the city and see a ball game or go to the theater, you've got all of these different social social activities that you can participate in. Shoot, in a few hours you can get down to the ocean or the Gulf of Mexico. So from a social standpoint, we've got so many positive, great things that are going for us that we just really don't see any hiccups there. Now, social also includes like crime rates and so on and so forth. And to be honest with you, relative to what's going on in the world today and nationally, we're doing really well. Our crime rate hasn't been spiking or anything like that. And it's a pretty safe environment and communities that we have here. So from a social standpoint, we really haven't had a lot of issues in the past few years. And we don't see anything changing going into 2024. So from a social standpoint, not a big issue, and we don't see anything major happening in 2024. All right, the third factor is environmental. Now, those are things like geographical encumbrances that you may have in the area. In Atlanta, we're in a great area. We don't have any major geographical situations that would keep the city from growing. We don't have an ocean. We're not bordering an ocean. We're not bordering a mountain range or anything like that that's going to impede that growth. So on 360 degrees of Atlanta, we have nothing but growth going out all over the place. So from that standpoint, we really don't have anything impeding growth. You can definitely see that the way that the city has actually been expanding and growing and moving out. So we don't have any of those impediments. And we certainly don't see any kind of mountain range jumping up in front of us anytime soon. So moving into 2024, from that standpoint, we don't see any changes. So we're all good with factor number 3. All right, I saved the best for last. Number 4 is economical factors. And yes, there is a bunch bundled into this one. If you remember from past videos, everything economical gets jumped into number 4. And this is the one that has the greatest impact on real estate. So these are things like what is the interest rate? What is the unemployment rate in the particular area? What is the growth rate in a particular area? What is the supply and the demand in a particular area? So these are all the things that fall under that fourth factor. So I'm going to drill down a little bit and talk about rates, right? Because rates have a lot to do with what's going on in real estate. So obviously over the last couple years, we've seen an increase in rates, correct? And we're seeing it starting to plateau a little bit. Now, everybody thought the rates itself were going to crash the market and it was going to come tumbling down. Well, we just went through all these other factors that actually affect real estate. And real estate is very local. So from a local standpoint, all these other factors have actually been boosting up and keeping up the real estate market. So rates are just one small little piece of the overall contributing factors that are going to affect real estate. So what do we see with rates? Well, like I said, they've been going up over the last couple years. We see them plateauing out. I don't know what's going to happen. No one else knows what's going to happen this year. However, we do rely on some experts, and it sounds like the Feds may keep the Fed rate level. They may reduce a little bit this year. I don't know. I keep hearing conflicting information on that. However, if we do see a decrease in rates, then we're going to all of a sudden have more buyers that are able to buy real estate. So if you're out there buying right now, you may want to get ahead of that curve, because if these rates get below 6%, then we're going to have an influx of a bunch of buyers and you're going to have a bunch of competition. This is the other thing that is keeping inventory low. A lot of sellers are unwilling to sell their current home because they have a cheap loan on it and trade it out for a more expensive loan. So they're locked into their house. They're financially locked. They just don't have enough motivation or reason in their life to be able to make that change right now. If there is a change in rates in which they don't see there's that big of a gap between where they're at right now and a new rate, if they have enough motivation that's going to get them to move a little bit, they're going to start jumping into the market and they're going to start putting their houses on the market. Again, we need inventory. We need that turn of houses in our area. And if that happens, then it's going to be a flourish of a very active real estate market again. So I just indicated that the inventory is low. Obviously, that has not changed over the last couple years. And we don't see that changing anytime soon, especially in 2024. The shortage of inventory that we have on the market right now is not a quick fix. There is no quick fix. We need so many more housing units in order to keep up or fill the demand that we have from buyers, that we just don't see that happening real quick. So those are the economic factors. Unemployment. Let's talk about unemployment a little bit. Our unemployment rate is really, really healthy here. The city is growing. Employment is good. As a matter of fact, we have a shortage of some labor sectors. We are very diversified as far as the services that we have, the bases that we have in the Atlanta market area. We're not tied into one specific industry. So we have very diverse here. We're growing. So we're in a really, really good position as far as employment goes, and the unemployment rate being so low that it is right now, that we don't see that changing as much. So those are some really healthy contributing factors that end up supporting and helping the economic factor that affects real estate. So as you can see, we don't see any issues whatsoever. We don't see a crash coming. I am not projecting a crash in 2024, just like I was not projecting a crash because of the exact same reasons over the last 3 or 4 years. So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this flushed out some of the fear that some of you folks have been feeling and hanging on and not making a move. And hopefully this is just clear for you. And we always say clarity is power. So hopefully this gave you a little power, a little comfort in what's going to happen in 2024. Make sure you subscribe, like the video so I can get this content out to more people. Thanks for watching.